I don't know where the video went on to, but good afternoon, Arkansas. This is Assistant Chief Forecaster Cameron and
Chief Forecaster Derek, and hope around the state, but unfortunately, we are going to be talking about winter weather now as we head into the middle part of the week. We've been forecasting this here for about roughly 5 to 7 days now. Of course, the bigger question has been who's going to see what and where. And as we mentioned, we stuck to our guns. We said that the colder air is going to get here sooner. We stuck to our guns. We did not buy the warmer trend on Sunday. And as we mentioned, as we got to this point in time frame, this is when we will be talking about a major winter storm. We have already seen winter storm warnings go out for much of the northern part of the state. We fully expect to see much of the rest of the winter storm watch area upgraded to either an ice storm warning or winter storm warning over the next several hours. For you folks in southern Arkansas, would not be shocked to see a winter weather advisory or a freezing rain advisory before all is said and done.
Right, so a couple things I want to address. First off, Katie, I want to drop out your comment. Folks, this is the number one thing we always talk about whenever there's winter weather here in Arkansas. Do not pay attention to just the temperature right now, okay? This is Wednesday and a Thursday. We don't need it to be 30 degrees for a whole week to get winter weather. That's just not a thing here in Arkansas. We're not in the Northern Plains. If you've lived here long enough, you've known we've gone from 70 degrees to 30 and just like that. So just because it's warm now does not mean it's going to change. Doesn't mean nothing's going to happen. Yep. Okay.
So everybody remembers December 2012. It was 75 degrees.
Good point.
3 days before a major winter storm brought over a foot of snow and half an inch up to an inch of ice to many areas.
Yep.
2000 ice storm, same thing. 2009 ice storm, same thing. Arkansas, we live in the south. You're not going to have below freezing temperatures 9 out of 10 times leading up to an event.
Yep.
So I just want to throw that out there. Just because it's warm today does not mean squat. Right now in Missouri, they were in the 60s at 6 a.m. this morning. They are currently sitting in the 20s and 30s with the cold front coming through.
Right.
So this is a very strong front coming through.
Yep.
Your temperatures will plummet tomorrow.
Right. So, guys, if y'all are having any audio issues, try leaving and coming back. It's a Facebook thing. I don't know what's going on with it. But I want to talk about this map here because I know the majority of everybody's here for this map. Yep. While we have over 1,000 people on this live stream, it's very important to like and share our page. That way you guys aren't missing any updates. Also, we appreciate you guys. We really do appreciate you guys for being patient with us. It's a lot of graphics we having to push out and update. It's not just, what we've had the last couple of events where it's just been one predominant mode of winter weather and it's super easy.
Yep.
You're talking multiple different precipitation types. So that means multiple graphics need to go out and multiple information is going to be coming out at the same time. So really thank you guys for being patient with us. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, Northwest Arkansas, the easiest out of the entire forecast up there. Snow and sleet. That's for Benton, Washington, up towards Madison, Boone, and Carroll County up there in far northwestern Arkansas. That's the easiest part of the state to forecast because we're fully expecting the cold air to get to you guys just like that, like no issues. All right. Further to the south and east is where the forecast starts becoming very tricky. This is where it starts forming gray hairs not here from trying to figure out what's going to be happening. But you can see from earlier, there's been some massive changes. Guys, if you're running with the black line means,
we're going to get to it in just a minute.
We're going to make it in just a minute, okay? If you're trying to figure it out, please read the entire graphic. Don't just look at the colors. You got to read the entire graphic, guys. That's another thing. All right? But as you can see, across western Arkansas, northwestern Arkansas, rain to sleet to snow over there in western Arkansas because the cold air is going to get to you guys first. It's going to get to you guys pretty quickly before it gets to the mountains. All right? But another thing is as you get towards north central Arkansas, northeast Arkansas, we're fully aware that you guys are under winter storm warning right now. But you guys are going to start off as rain and freezing rain and sleet. Then you're going to transition over to all snow. Go ahead, Derek. What do you got?
So basically, so now, as Cameron's mentioned about north central Arkansas, now, the biggest concern obviously is who's going to see what could be a potentially significant ice storm across the state. That line has been transitioning south over the last 24 to 36 hours. As we mentioned yesterday, we expected this to move kind of towards the south a little bit, and that's exactly what's happened. Unfortunately, what this does is bring more areas like like parts of the Architects, Central Arkansas, the Delta, East Central, into an area that could see significant icing. What we mean by significant icing, half an inch or more of ice. A quarter to a half an inch is significant. You go half an inch to 3/4, we start talking about major issues. Once you get over 3/4, obviously a lot of you know that once you get over 3/4 inch of ice,
Yep.
tree lines, power lines start coming down. And again, right now, guidance has been very, 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 very alarming. Current trends with this system have been very alarming with the track of it and the amount of cold air coming down. The biggest concern here is that we can see periods of heavy freezing rain with temperatures 28 to 31 degrees.
Definitely.
Now here's the thing. Across Central Arkansas, I-40 corridor up to Jonesboro is where our temperatures may be 28 to 30. As you go towards the southern sections, we're talking 29 to 32 degrees. So impacts won't be quite as significant, but they will still widely felt. Basically, anywhere within the black line, we could be talking about widespread issues of a quarter, half an inch, to even upwards, possibly upwards of an inch of ice. And that is not counting sleet, that is not counting snow, that is just freezing rain. We're also talking about the potential of sleet in this same area.
Yep.
In parts of the black line, you could see areas of upwards an inch to 2 inches of sleet. If you were around in 2014 and
Yep.
also in March of 2016, I believe, we saw a sleet storm across much of Central Arkansas, where we were expecting freezing rain. We ended up getting 2 to 3 inches of sleet. So again, all things are possible out of this system. Now, as you move into southern Arkansas, this is where we expect rain to linger the longest. But as cold air filters in, obviously you're going to be the last to see that, is where our rain will change over to a freezing rain mix. Here, I don't expect our temperatures to get much around 30, 31, and 32, and this is going to be closer towards Thursday afternoon into Thursday evening before this transitions in South Arkansas. With that being said, if cold air comes in sooner, everything moves south.
Yep.
Your heavier snow is in North Arkansas, heavier sleet is in Central, and then of course your icing amounts go further east and further south.
Definitely.
But as of right now, this is a high confidence for forecast of precip types, and mostly for amounts. Now let's head into the amounts as well.
Right. So, have you talked about Southern Arkansas?
Yes.
Okay, because I know there was one thing that I was telling you guys about South Arkansas, that we were kind of back and forth between seeing light freezing rain and rain. I hit you guys with a cold rain earlier, and I told you guys that there was going to be a change with it.
Yep.
This is the change that you're seeing here. So, even Shreveport is talking about when their afternoon discussion. They're saying that ice could potentially be possible as far south as the I-20 corridor.
Yep.
That is in North Louisiana. So that tells me that your colder air is sinking further and further south than we were originally, most people were originally anticipating here. So let's go and talk about amounts here, okay? So this is the ice accumulation here, and I don't know why it just sped up like that, but we're going to do that, okay? So this is the ice accumulations here. So as I told you guys in the live stream earlier on today, that there was going to be some major changes with this ice accumulation here. Now, Derek, I want you to go ahead and talk about Northwest Arkansas. I'll tackle Central and Eastern. Go ahead.
All right. So basically, for our folks in Northwest Arkansas, we're not expecting much in the way of ice, and this is for the Boston Mountains, places in the typically higher elevations. Cold air is going to get there first, so therefore we don't expect much in the way of ice there. So you should transition straight to snow and sleet. Now, another thing to keep in mind: this is going to be 2 separate rounds. We're going to have a round of rain with the first wave tonight and into the early morning hours tomorrow.
Yep.
As that is going to move out. Then you're going to have a break mid-afternoon, in mid-morning to mid-afternoon. Then the second wave is going to come in. This wave is going to last for 24 to 36 hours. And this is going to be a prolonged event of where we see freezing rain, sleet, and snow. Northwest Arkansas will be mostly sleet and snow because you will have already dropped below freezing by the time precip starts.
Yep.
Now down towards the southern end.
Okay, I see.
Down towards the southern end of the Boston Mountains, closer towards the river valley. Here, the warm air is expected to hang on a little bit longer. So there we could see a glaze to maybe upwards of 5/10 of an inch of ice but that will transition into sleet and snow relatively fast. We don't expect much in the way of ice there. Obviously, as you head into the north central Arkansas and then, of course, further east and south, that's where all bets change significantly.
Right. So, before in central and eastern Arkansas, this is the one area that we've been kind of talking about over the last couple of days here, that the potential of an ice storm was there. And this is why we have that area from, I would say, upwards to near half an inch of ice, upwards to 6/10 of an ice up there across central Arkansas into eastern Arkansas. And you can see the area that we have highlighted across Crittenden County, San Francisco County, down towards just DeWitt. 8/10 of an inch of ice, upwards to a inch of ice could be possible in that area here. So, folks, if you are wondering about this graphic, I promise you it's going to get posted after this live stream, okay? I know everybody's anxious, wanting information. Take a deep breath, okay? Take a deep breath, relax. We promise we're going to get to everybody in just a minute. But you got to remember, our first 15, 20 minutes, we're getting you guys the information first before we get to everybody else's questions here. So just take a deep breath. We promise you it's going to be okay. It's not going to be the end of the world. I promise you. We could get through it, okay? But I want to talk to you guys about this because this is a significant threat. Yep. You need to take it seriously. However, do not let it stress you out, all right? So, as I said before, across eastern Arkansas, that's the area of highest confidence of seeing the greater ice accumulation. Now, keep in mind, over the next 12 to 24 hours, we're going to get more data in. This could shift north. This could shift considerably south. It could get more widespread or shrink as needed. So keep that in mind. Go ahead.
The biggest thing about this is that if we feel and we see that cold air is coming in sooner than anticipated and deeper than anticipated, then again, this would be more snow and sleet and less ice. And honestly, that is a best case scenario at this moment. Basically, you have levels of the atmosphere. You have the surface. Then you go a little bit further aloft. Then you have your mid-levels. Then you have what we call the dendritic growth zone, which is where your snow forms. As the snow falls through that, you have a warm layer aloft. And that snow falls through it, turns to rain. If your warm layer is thin, you get sleet. If your warm layer is thick and just very little to surface, then you're going to get freezing rain. Right now, that is what we're expecting. A very thick, warm layer aloft, temperatures above 32, but at the surface at 32 or below. That's where you get freezing rain. If we see the transition sooner, if that cold air is deeper, then we're going to see that transition to sleet a lot sooner.
Yep, exactly. So, for those that are wondering about the colors, say before, guys, all the information is on this graphic, okay? There's a big thing at the top of the graphic that says, please read the entire graphic. Also, it's not limited to just the live streams. I don't know why people think that, but it's not limited to just our live streams either. We have an entire page, a website, everything, okay? If you can't find it on this live stream, go to the page, all right? Just click on the page, and you'll find the information there as well, all right? So just be a little patient with us, guys. We're getting to everyone. I know everybody's kind of leaving out of the live stream because they're not getting questions answered, but it is what it is, okay? So SF4 down there in southern Arkansas. This is the area that I've been talking about last day or so, that it was kind of the battle zone between the cold rain and the freezing rain. Right now, guidance, I'm just looking at the E0Z for just a bit, and it has the ice down there in southern Arkansas. There's no accumulations down there per the HR, but I'm thinking the HR is just now coming into range.
Yep.
So we're going to use the high-res NAM right now because I think it has a better feel of the situation versus the HR, and then the HR start coming in later. But that's the number one thing we want to tell you guys about down there in South Arkansas. Yes, you're on the lower end of this. However, like Derek said, if that cold air comes in a lot quicker and a lot deeper than expected, this ice that's over central Arkansas will drop south.
Yep.
That's why Shreveport is so concerned about this going all the way down to the I-20 corridor, which is in Louisiana, North Louisiana. So keep that in mind, okay? Just keep that in mind. This is a evolving situation. Now, you're not going to see the flip-flop here.
Yeah.
However, unless, like you said, if that cold air gets here a lot quicker, then we're good to go.
Yeah.
Okay? So, go ahead.
If anything, the amounts are increasing as we get closer, and unfortunately, that's what we don't want to see.
Yep.
Now there's two other sides. the sleet and the snow. Let's go look at the sleet totals here.
Yep.
Because here's the
Backing
thing.
up for just a bit.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
All right.
There's sleet.
So here's the thing. So there's gonna not only will we be talking about freezing rain, but we're gonna be talking about sleet. And this is very, very common with these type of setups that the cold air comes a little bit sooner and a little bit deeper, but not enough to produce snow. Well, that's where you get sleet.
Yep.
Now, the forecast is where we could see a wide range across the state of 1/2 inch up to 2 inches of sleet. And basically, you know what that's going to do to the roads is make a thick layer of ice on the roads. Sleet's a little bit easier to drive on, not by much, but it's better than ice. And we recommend staying home at all costs. But sleet will also not affect the power grid compared to an icing event, and a significant icing event like what is forecast right now. So with that being said, rain will transition to freezing rain, and that will transition over to sleet as we head throughout the day on Thursday. Best case scenario, and what I'm currently seeing on trends as this front's coming through, is temperatures are dropping a lot faster and coming in deeper. So what that means is we can actually see a longer period of sleet with less freezing rain. And if that happens, then the sleet totals will have to go up, and of course the snow totals will have to go up as well.
Right, so that's what I'm seeing with the HR. I'm going to talk about HR in just a bit. That's what's one to do.
So
it's about 2 to 3 inches of sleet. It's going more of a sleet thing here, but it does have the combination of the sleet and freezing rain across the area. So SO4, give me 1 second, I got it. All right, so SO4, guys, this is what we're looking at in terms of sleet potential. Now, I'm going to kind of take this out a little bit here. Now, you saw this earlier, and this is the ice index here. So I'm going to kind of talk about this for a minute. And before we get into the definitions here, if you've paid attention to my last live stream, you know what this is all about. I told you guys earlier that this was going to be upgraded to a 3 or a 4. Basically, what the impact means is basically this. I'm going to go to the definition real quick. Okay, so I'm going to leave this on the screen for just a second. All right. Eden, do me a favor. Take care of that comment for me. Thank you very much. And so for the ice damage index here. So this is what you saw, guys, earlier. And I haven't had a chance. And here's the thing. I haven't had a chance to post on the page for some reason. I have no idea why. But this is what we're looking at here. So remember, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 area. Okay, the 5 is the absolute worst. You can't get any worse than 5. All right. Right now, as you saw briefly, you saw for just a second, I've introduced the 4. All right. I do not want to put 5 unless I'm seeing a consistent trend on one or more inches of ice. Yeah. I don't want to go that far unless it's a consistent trend. The problem I'm seeing right now is sleet. Sleet's being an issue trying to fight the freezing rain at this point. Okay. However, I'm gonna step this back for just a bit. All right. This is what we're talking about. Okay. So Northwest Arkansas, the reason why you're cut out is because you're dealing with snow and sleet in those areas. So you won't have those much ice issues up there. All right. 1 across southern Arkansas. Another thing, you see down there in southern Arkansas now, you guys weren't under it earlier. Now you are, because we're thinking it's going to be ice down there in South Arkansas now. Okay. The 2 area, the orange area, as you saw before, and then the 3, and then the 4. Now you have a 4 across much of the central and eastern half of Arkansas at this time here. Now, we are fully aware a lot of people are under a winter storm warning. Like I said before, I don't know what LZK is going to do. I don't know if they're going to go ice storm warning in the morning or they're going to go winter storm warning. They're really depending on what happens with the sleet, because sleet plays a very critical role when you're trying to put an ice storm warning out, because an ice storm warning has to stay primarily freezing rain.
Yep.
It has to stay primarily freezing rain. Like, you cannot have any sleet or snow. It has to primarily be freezing rain. It has to be a freezing rain event for you to get an ice storm warning.
Yep.
If you throw sleet and snow into that ice, you get a winter storm warning.
Yep.
So that's what this is. Okay, so that's the reason why you're not seeing anything greater than a 4 right now. You're not seeing the 5 star now, even though some guidance, Euro in particular, is wanting to throw out almost 1.5 inches of ice. Go ahead, Eric.
So with that being said, now we've talked about ice, we've talked about sleet, and I'm seeing a lot of questions about how do you prepare for this. We've gone over this for 2 or 3 days now. You know, we've told you what to do, we've told you how to prepare. So here is something
I already had it
that
covered.
we have.
I knew somebody was going to ask.
We have multiple questions about how do you prepare for an ice storm. Well, this is some things that you can do ahead of the storm. Now, keep in mind, you have tonight, tomorrow morning to prepare for an ice storm. After tomorrow afternoon, temperatures are going to start dropping. If they drop sooner, well, then we're going to be talking about impact starting a lot sooner. So with that being said, the best case scenario is tonight or tomorrow, go out and get any supplies. You should have already done it by this point, but you still have a little bit of time.
Yeah,
Northwest Arkansas, not so much. Your event will start late tomorrow morning into the early afternoon hours. Across Northeast Arkansas, you will have time, but again, your winter storm warning starts tomorrow evening. Impacts are expected to begin, if not sooner, by tomorrow evening. So, if you have a chance, first thing in the morning, go out and get any supplies that you need and plan for a multifaceted event. Nothing like we saw last last year.
Yeah.
This is not going to be that type of event. We're not going to have 2 feet of snow on top of ice.
Yeah.
But Arkansas has not seen a significant ice storm like this in quite some time, especially this widespread.
Yep.
So we're not saying it's going to be like 2000. We're not saying it's going to be like 2009. But it's something that you have to keep in mind that even half an inch to 3/4 of an inch of ice will do a lot of damage.
Definitely. So, as you see on the screen there now, this is the ice storm safety. And I went over this in the live stream earlier, just in case you may have missed it. This is what you do for an ice storm, right? So, right now we're before the storm, before the impacts here in Arkansas. So, this is the time now. Like Derek said before, if you have not been to the store already, I would go ahead and do it. Now, the problem with you going to the store, from here on out, it's going to be chaotic. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be busy. You're not going to get the kind of supplies that you would have gotten either yesterday or even Sunday. So from here on out, the grocery stores are going to be packed. They're going to be slow. It's not going to be, it's going to be super, super busy. So keep that in mind. But the main things you want to target water. You want to target food. Perishable food, by the way. Non-perishable food, by the way. Mm-hmm. All right, for 3 days. 3 days non-perishable food. Flashlight, extra batteries, first aid kit. Make sure you're good on your medications just to be on the safe side. And also extra cash if that's possible, okay? Potential impacts, all right? Now we're talking down trees and limbs. Their winter storm warning up there, they're very concerned about these 30 to 40 mile per hour winds with gusts with this system, okay? And I told you guys over the last couple of days, if you've been paying attention, that the winds were going to be an issue combined with the potential ice with this and the snow within northwestern Arkansas. All right, so we've been mentioning this for the last few days. If you haven't paid attention, tonight is the time to pay attention. Okay, let's go ahead and let's do this real quickly. Here, give me 1 second. We'll just go here and let's talk about this for a bit. Now I had this up earlier. But Derek, go ahead and kind of talk about this real quickly here. So basically, this is just the winter weather tips. Go ahead. You want to talk?
All right. So basically, this is. Be sure to say that this is how you know your counties.
Big time.
So we are going to post this on the page.
It's already pinned. Yeah, it's already pinned.
All right. So you have to know your counties because winter storm warning, ice storm warning. Of course, we talk about this in severe weather as well. Again, the biggest thing is that we are preparing for a significant winter storm across the state. If you've been with us for years, you know very, very well we don't beat around the bush. We don't sugarcoat anything. If we say it's going to be a significant event, it's more likely going to be a significant event. And we've been studying this and doing this for quite a while. Not take away from our meteorologists, and from those that work hard alongside us, but then again, everybody is, has their own set of guidelines that they have to follow.
Yep.
And we, especially me, I have a 20-year background in studying this. So when it comes to a forecast, we don't just look at a model and throw it out.
Right.
But again, that being said, long story short, follow this guideline as we go throughout the next 72 hours.
Right.
This is going to be the ice storm, you know what to before, during, and after. And then, of course, obviously, if you've not been through one of these, then you know that we have plenty of resources available on the National Weather Service, on the Red Cross, and then, of course, our sponsors at the BBB. They have a whole list of what to do if you get those post-winter storm cleanup folks that all they want is your money and don't do anything with it.
Right. So this is the number one thing, and I talked about this in the live stream earlier on. Sorry, Dick, I kind of sprung this map on you, but basically it's just our rules for the live stream. Just things that we want to go over, because with winter weather comes rude folks, unfortunately. I don't know why that's an issue here in Arkansas, but with winter weather comes rude folks. So know your counties, know your surrounding counties, okay? If you don't know where you are in terms of the county-wise, talk to a friend, talk to a family member, ask around. We don't mind answering questions, but when big events, especially one of this magnitude for the state, big events come with big delays. That's our number one thing. Big events come with big delays. That means that your question may not get answered at all, because there's a million other questions we're trying to get to. Or you may get your question, you may ask a question at 6 o'clock that evening, and we may not get back to you till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Yep. So just keep that in mind, okay? Especially in the next couple of days. We're going to have a lot of information thrown at you guys. So patience is key with us. That's the number one thing we talk about all the time. Yep. Patience is key. That's the number one thing. I know it's the most lacking thing here in Arkansas, but patience is key. Okay, you got to have patience with us, okay? But the number one thing I really want to talk about with this map is the number 3. Yep. Prepared now for a significant winter storm across the majority of the state. That's stocking up on canned food, water, batteries, etc. That's the number one thing that we're wanting to stress out for this entire map. Yep. You got to be prepared for this event. If you don't see freezing rain, consider it a blessing. I don't think anybody in their right minds would be complaining about not having freezing rain. Freezing rain is something you don't want. You do not want freezing rain at all. Yep. I've told him this a million times too. I take a cold rain any day versus freezing rain at this point.
We're getting a lot of questions about snow. The snow half of this.
Yeah.
Everybody want to know the snow accumulations. We have not gone over that yet.
That's right.
So I think we've addressed everything ice storm wise and stuff like that.
Yep.
So let's talk about the snow half of this.
Let me go back.
And again, now that being said, and here's the thing: as of right now, the heaviest snow accumulations are going to be. I know everybody hates this, in the Ozark Mountains. There's just no way around that. There's one caveat to this: if cold air comes in deeper, comes in sooner, and your moisture is still there, we could see each one of these expanded south, and we could be increasing northwest Arkansas.
Yep.
So just for example, the reason being your snow totals in central and northeast Arkansas are cut is because of sleet.
Yep.
So for example, if those sleet totals are not there because your cold air is deeper, well then you add 2-3 inches of snow instead of sleet to this. Yep. Right now, this map factors in where you're going to see freezing rain and sleet.
Yep.
And especially sleet.
Exactly.
If you see deeper cold air, then you're going to see each one of these totals go up, especially in northwest Arkansas, where I would not be shocked to see some areas in northwest Arkansas
about a foot,
10 inches to a foot of snow.
Yep. Up there north, and that's the thing about the Ozark Mountains here. If you've been here long enough, most times with these events, the Ozark Mountains kind of screw us from seeing an all snow event. You go to Oklahoma, where there's no mountains, they're having an all snow event over there. Unfortunately for us here in Arkansas, we got the Ozark and the Boston Mountains, so that kind of holds back the majority of the cold air, but not enough to prevent winter weather here. So, like I said before, if the cold air gets here a lot quicker, that'll be our best friend. Right now, this map is still the same from 6 o'clock this morning because we had no change to the snowfall amounts here. So, central and south central Arkansas, about a trace to a half an inch of snow on the back side of this. This is going to be very, 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 very at the end of this system. Okay, it's not going to happen during. It's going to be right as the system is pivoting away, right as the colder air is deepening down and sending down into Arkansas. If one more thing I want to stress, okay, because we got this for Central and Eastern Arkansas. And there's a lot of folks that are still clinging to the last event, okay? It's not going to be like the last event.
Nope.
Different beast with this system. However, I want to stress, if you do not see snow out of this, especially in Central Arkansas, don't be shocked. Just don't be shocked if it doesn't happen. Because we're going to have a lot of warm air issues aloft that's going to prevent from us seeing a lot of snow here. If it happens, that's great. We're accounting. Go ahead.
That's the one thing that's similar to the last event. We had warm air aloft issues in weird spots.
Yep.
You know, this is more of a broad brush. You're going to have warm air issues across the state versus last time you only had the warm air issues in random spots, you know, across the state. So with that being said, right now, this is the forecast. Can it change? Yes.
Definitely.
We still have 24 hours before this event really gets cranking up. So we have another 24 hours of final adjustment to the forecast. Right now, I don't foresee many more changes coming. If there's any change that's going to happen, it's going to be colder with more snow and sleet and less ice at this time. But right now, that's everything that I think. Right now, that I believe that we are going to see. And winter storm wise, I do believe this is going to be, you know, one of those Arkansas events where you get a mixed bag of everything.
Yep.
Best case scenario is the cold air comes in a lot sooner, and we see more sleet and snow. Worst case scenario is it's going to come in later, then we see more ice.
Heather, no. I see your question. That's going to be a no. I would not. And folks, I know a lot of people are wanting to travel on Friday, and this is going to be an issue. I can see it now. This is going to be an issue for Arkansas on Friday because everybody's going to be trying to rebound after this. Folks, it's going to get cold after this event. Friday is going to struggle to get above freezing. In some cases, you may not get above freezing. If you got to cancel a plan for a Friday, you're just going to have to do it. This is going to be one of those Fridays that if you got a plan, you may have to go ahead and cancel it.
North Arkansas, you're going to be in the mid-20s. Friday. Another thing, it's going to be cloudy for much of the morning into the early afternoon hours Friday. Central Arkansas, depending what happens, depending how much ice and snow cover you have, those high temperatures may be right at or just below freezing. South Arkansas, with the snowpack to our north, low to mid 30s will be expected across the south. We may squeak out a 40 or 2, but I just don't see us getting much above. And then here's the thing: you're going to drop down into the teens on Thursday night. You're going to drop down Friday night into the single digits and teens. It's going to be cold. Refreezing is going to be a very likely scenario with this.
Exactly.
So, you know, here's the thing. Roads might be a little better Friday, but again, so that is the biggest thing. So roads Friday morning are going to be horrible. Friday afternoon,
I wouldn't even attempt to try to travel Friday morning.
Friday afternoon might be a little bit better, but that's a wait and see. Now, the biggest thing is everybody's asking about timing. Timing is right now, Wednesday morning into early afternoon in far northwest Arkansas, far northern Arkansas.
Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's talk about timing. Okay, so this is going to be a pay attention moment, by the way. If you got timing, it's the time to pay attention. Up here in the top right corner, top left corner, okay, 6 p.m. All right, and I'm going to back this up, and this is just the HR, by the way. We'll have a timing map out on the page. Folks, you got to understand, we got a lot of graphics we're trying to get out to you guys right now. So, patience. Patience. No more thing, okay? I know everybody's trying to plan around this. It's the busiest time of the week. But you got to be patient with us, guys. Not only us, but almost everybody that's trying to forecast this in Arkansas. That's the number one thing, okay? So, let me see here, okay? So, Northwest, I saw that. I saw that comment.
Is tomorrow not Groundhog Day?
And
Fox Tony Field died? I'm seeing multiple people.
I saw that.
I'm seeing multiple
Can somebody
people,
confirm that?
Yeah, I'm seeing multiple people
saying that.
The Groundhog died. That's not the most 2022 thing ever. Sorry, y'all. I saw the comments and I was like...
That's a really, really bad sign. But, anyways, like we were saying before, this is around 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon here up here in Northwest Arkansas. That kind of blindsided me for a second. I saw that. I was like, oh, no.
Now
this is first thing in the morning up there in Northwest Arkansas. Go ahead, Jerry. Talk about that.
Now, this is what we were talking about here. You're going to have rain, break.
Yep.
That does not mean it's not going to do anything. This is the first wave that we've been talking about. Your second wave is going to be out in Texas.
Yep.
Look what happens as the second wave comes through.
Now, one thing I want to note. This is 6 p.m., by the way. It's night. If you have clear skies for even a slightest bit of period, it's going to send those temperatures plummeting throughout this time frame. Now, then one thing I'm going to talk about too, Derek, nocturnal inversion coming in. We talk about this during severe weather.
Yep.
How it helps brings the cooler temperatures down. It helps us out in the wintertime too, where it sends down the colder air a lot quicker during the night because you don't have the sun angle. You don't have the daytime heating trying to prevent the cold air from coming south. We're fully anticipating that these temperatures are going to bust. It's just going to happen. Okay. Also, okay, I saw that. Apparently, it's been confirmed. I'm really sorry to hear that. Boy, this has been a rough year so far. But anyways, as you can see up here, 9 p.m. Okay, so northwestern Arkansas, far northwestern Arkansas. This is going to start around 9 p.m. tomorrow evening. The majority of Arkansas is going to be in the clear for much of the day on Wednesday. That's another thing we've been preaching. Is much of the day on Wednesday you're going to be in the clear. I got 900 people. I got 900 ears that are listening to me right now. Wednesday is going to be clear unless you're in northwestern Arkansas. I am fully anticipating somebody asking a question tomorrow about this being a bust. It is not going to be a bust. This is going to start late tomorrow night and into Thursday. Okay, let me repeat that. If tomorrow it's going to start in northwestern Arkansas, everybody else is going to be in the clear unless we get the second round in a lot quicker, which I don't see happening, by the way. So northwestern Arkansas is going to be the area. And notice what it's doing, by the way. You're going from freezing rain to sleet straight to snow. Brief change. And then by the time you get towards midnight, you're all snow in northwest Arkansas. So that's why we're saying that ice up there in northwest Arkansas is very low at this point. It's going straight to snow up there in northwestern Arkansas. As you can see what it's doing in central Arkansas. Okay, this is midnight, by the way, that you're looking. Much of the state, much of northern Arkansas, freezing rain, sleet, snow up here northwest. The orange here is sleet. The purple is freezing rain. And the blue back out here, the darker blue, is snow, even some heavy snow up here in northwestern Arkansas. And, of course, down here in south Arkansas, pure rain. All right, so let's take this out a little bit further. We'll go hour by hour, okay? So this is right around 1 o'clock in the morning. There's your freezing rain coming into northeastern Arkansas. There's your sleet across northern and in northwestern Arkansas. There's snow, and then here in central, we're in that battle zone right now. We're still trying to get below freezing, which I think HR is a little bit too warm. It's a little bit too warm with this. I think it's gonna get below freezing pretty quickly. But look what happens. And another concern I'm having. Look at thunderstorm activity coming out from South Arkansas over the sub-freezing air. That's where you can have freezing rain issues. This is right around sunrise Thursday morning. I'm going to tell you now, Thursday morning, do not plan on traveling.
Nope.
Do not plan on traveling. That's my final and only warning to you. Do not plan on traveling Thursday morning. Okay? Ice coming in at daybreak is the worst thing possible, especially in the metro. Do not plan on traveling first thing Thursday morning. It's going to look like regular rain, but it's not going to be rain. It is going to be freezing rain, and the roads are going to be chaotic. It's not going to be easy to travel on those roads. Matter of fact, I wouldn't recommend it. So Thursday morning, don't do it. Just don't do it across the area, okay? So as you can see, here we are Thursday morning, right around 6 a.m. There's your freezing rain. There's your sleet, by the way, and then snow across northwestern Arkansas. Now, the HR kind of gives a dry slide, and I don't buy that because all the moisture you have in place with this, okay? But as you can see, snow across northwestern Arkansas. You get a brief break. I mean, very, very brief break, and I don't even think you're going to see a break out of this. But look what it does, okay? It tries to redevelop as we get towards this Thursday afternoon, and there could be some snow on the backside of this as the system is pulling away. I think the HR is a little bit too dry with this. There's so much moisture with this system, it's not funny. So I think it's a little bit too dry with the system, but you get the general idea with this, guys. So this is right around 3 p.m. on Thursday. We'll have timing maps out. We'll have all the information on the page, guys. We promise you. So Derek, you got anything else
Yep.
you got to say?
Okay, it was not Fox Field. It was a ground in New Jersey.
Okay.
So,
Okay. All right.
but
Thank you.
again, with this being said, HR don't. I'm not ready to trust it yet. I think it's still just at the outside of its envelope.
Yeah, 36 to 48. It's going to struggle.
Being where it needs to be,
Mhm.
we have a lot of moisture content.
Matter of fact.
I don't buy the drying of the atmosphere with this. But that being said, we're going to see waffles. We're going to see adjustments. But in terms of overall adjustment, I fully expect.
And there's a zero Z. Yeah, there's zero Z now, and zero Z. And look, and there's the best case scenario, by the way. Look what it's doing.
Sleet.
It's going straight to Sleet here.
Yep.
So that's the best case scenario, guys. So that's all we got. I mean, that's all. We've gone over everything. We've gone over all the updates. Oh, by the way, all the updates are going to be posted on the page.
Yep.
So if you missed it in the live stream, either rewind it or be sure to look at the page for more than 5 seconds.
Yep.
You got anything else to add?
So that being said, we thank you for joining us and trusting us. We will continue to be tracking this latest winter storm across state. Given the high impact across the state, we will be declaring Wednesday and Thursday weather alert days.
Yep.
That way we can go on and focus on that. Again, it's going to be winter storm weather alert day, not severe weather alert day. So I just want to emphasize that. Normally we do this strictly for severe weather. However, with a high impact winter storm of this nature, we are issuing a weather alert day, which means all focus is going to be on the winter storm. No forecast, no morning outlooks, evening outlooks, stuff like that. We will be focusing strictly on winter storm coverage now through Friday morning.
Basically, that means your news feed is probably going to get oversaturated with our updates.
Yep.
That's basically what's getting ready to happen. That's why we've been super busy today getting ready for tomorrow and Thursday, because there's going to be a lot of graphics going to you guys' way over the next 24 hours here. So I think that's all we got, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank y'all for preparing, by the way. Thank y'all for all the stars, and we'll continue to keep you guys updated.
Right here, your source for all things Arkansas weather.